Nothing is real, and so are you. In order for a thing to be, it cannot be. In order for something to be anything other than anything, it must be looked at through the lens of everything else. And as soon as you excise that one part, you've excised your ability to comprehensively describe the rest of it and how everything else came together to produce this thing. Which means also you can no longer describe the thing that you've excised. In order for a glass to be a glass, it must be made of glass. Yet not just be glass, it has to be glass shaped this way, this size, capable of being held and holding liquid. But that requires liquid, beings which need liquid and which shape it for this purpose. If there's an identical thing in a universe, or this universe, with no being to hold and use it, it's not a glass. It was not made with that intent, it's not used to that purpose. It's never perceived as such. It is a coincidence. Perhaps there are little glass-shaped aliens that secrete chemicals like snails to produce perfect glass replicas housing their bodies. Then they shed the glasses, and the surface of this planet is littered with billions of things which are, in every single way, chemically identical to the drinking glass I'm holding right now. Are those things drinking glasses? Of course not. Now, we can call them glasses if we want, but that's a different sort of thing. That's a language trick. Glass is a word we use to mean something much more specific than just those chemicals in that shape. We didn't need to make it. It doesn't need to originate on Earth to be a glass, maybe. Perhaps we land on this strange glass snail planet and we find it, and then we use it for drinking. It becomes a glass? That seems like a glass, but in order to be used or found or anything at all, it must exist in time, and it must exist in this physical plane. And that means it can be lost or found or never found. It can be smashed. Oh, and if it's smashed, what is it then? It's not a glass, right? A shattered glass, maybe, if such a thought has purpose. Like, watch out, there's a shattered glass there. Oh, bummer, okay, I'll be careful of my bare feet. Oop, I cut myself. Well, now I guess we'll need to find something else to drink from, and maybe something to sweep up these pieces and to bandage my foot. So, existing in space-time and interacting with these other beings, it has the capacity to be something besides a glass, and it was also once something besides a glass, or many things. What makes it a thing? We have the substance glass it is made of, the pieces into which it can shatter, the elements that make the glass, whatever form they took before the glass, whatever they will be in the future. We have other uses for it. Maybe we can use it like a hammer if it's strong enough. It can be used to look at things, to burn things, to make music. To hold and water flowers, but that's a vase. What's the difference between a glass and a vase? Is it the material? Definitely not always. Is it the shape? No. Is it the time? Not unless the time produces a different use. Now there's a thing. The use. So it has to have boundaries that can be crossed. Not of simple matter, but also of use. Boundaries crossed by the tools that forge it, the light that bounces off it so we can see it, the seer itself to see and think and use it, the liquid that pours into it, and all these things are nested in this broader universe of natural law, which also allows for us to break it. In fact, you'll find that most things you can use, you can also break. Even light, space, time, gravity, even the most seemingly fundamental and ostensibly unbreakable things could probably be broken if we work hard enough. Consider time. The relativistic borders around time, inasmuch as they can be crossed, will only ever really be useful inasmuch as we can cross them. Light's an easier one. You can block light quite easily, or divide or generate it, and you can turn that blocking or dividing to some purpose. In fact, that's what makes it light, right? Where light is blocked or dimmed or divided, we perceive a shadow, a border, a different colored light marking a border. Now, this makes it either no longer light, or it changes the sort or direction of the light's relationship to you. You might turn it away from yourself when sleeping. It might come through a bedroom shutter. You might turn it away from a prisoner to torture him or her, extracting information. You might turn it on a nanoparticle to trace it through the body's system. In each case, there's either light being changed and manipulated for your use, or light being isolated away from you, and it passes out of awareness and interaction with you. This makes it either no longer light acted upon and cut up by other things, or it is nothing. Pure dark, pure light. A universe of these, a sensation of pure dark and nothing else, is nothing. It's incoherent. So the border is what makes the thing strike us as a thing and be used for different things. But in order to have a border, it must be a thing. Nothing is real, and so are you. In order for something to be anything other than anything, it must be looked at through the lens of everything. And through that lens of everything, any one thing is just a piece of everything, but everything is only comprehensible by its pieces separated out. It's in the utter formlessness of being, the utter lack of borders, that being is able to interact with itself. And it's in the utter truth of form and border that being is able to be a way and not another, and to continue this flowing from one thing to the other, and that is the heart of being. So for a thing to be, it cannot be, and in being nothing, things become themselves. Such is everything. Such are we. Nothing is real, and so are you.